One of the biggest mistakes most entrepreneurs make, and I focus on a lot of people that have service-based businesses, is they don't know where to find their ideal client. Where are you going to find your best buyers at? We talked about in previous trainings, in order to really build this in the best way, in the most efficient way, with the least amount of money, with the least amount of time, you get the most amount of testimonials, it's going to come down to you helping what we call your best buyers. As experts, or as whatever field you're in terms of a service-based business, you gotta remember that you can serve so many different audiences, but there's one particular audience that you can serve the best, that you can get the best results for, that you can get the most results for. And if you focus on that and say, I'm gonna get a 10x ROI versus a 2x ROI if I focus on this particular audience, then I'm gonna win. And most people don't do that because they're trying to cast a wide net, catching everybody, and they don't know, if you want everybody, then you don't know where to go because you want everybody. And that's the same experience that I had when I started in this industry, specifically working with entrepreneurs and business owners. I did not have a niche. I was helping people that had like soap businesses. I helped a black-owned seafood restaurant. I was helping real estate. I was helping daycare centers. I was helping people with online businesses. I was helping all kinds of businesses. You name it, I probably work with somebody in that industry. But the problem is I was able to get people a little bit of results, but there was nothing that I really knew deeply. I didn't deeply know real estate. I didn't deeply know restaurants. I didn't deeply know anything. But when I figured out, when I started to really learn or lean towards what I actually knew, I said, hold on. I know a lot about online marketing because at that point, I've been purchasing programs for online marketing. I knew about email. I know about sales funnels. I know about email marketing. I know about content creation, right? Which is different than if you run in a restaurant. There's specific things you need to know about restaurants, right? And there's certain things that apply to all businesses, but that's why I wasn't getting the amount of success. But then once I narrowed down and say, okay, I want to help people who are experts, people who are coaches, people who are speakers, people who have some type of expertise, education, or experience, and they want to teach other people that. Once I leaned into that, boom, easily multiple six figures, right? So I'm gonna share with you specifically how do you find where your best buyers are at. We talked about already identifying who they are, but now I really want to focus on where they're at. And the cheat code to all of this, as you already know, is ads, paid advertising. And what we specialize in is Facebook ads. Generally, this does work for any type of paid advertising platform, but I think Facebook ads is the best because it has over 2.9 billion active users on it. So it's highly, highly likely that your ideal client is on Facebook. But let's talk about where can you find them at? Where are they at, right? If you were going to put some money down, how would you target the right people in order to find where they're specifically at? All right, so if you're excited, go ahead and put excited below. Go ahead and put gems below if you're ready to get some gems. Give this some like, give this some love. Let me know that y'all here and y'all ready. By the way, before we jump in, you can share this out. We are streaming on all major platforms. So if you want to share this out with anybody that you know that is some type of thought leader or some type of expert in our industry, and you're like, yo, they need to figure this out because they don't really know who the hell they're talking to, then they need to be on this live, right? They need to be on this training right here. So just go ahead and hit the little airplane button below. And we are going to be talking about finding your best buyers there. Also, I'm going to give you some specific strategies in terms of targeting. In addition to that, I'm going to give you some resources at some point as we go through to be able to help you on this journey and on this path. And then we'll take a couple questions at the end. And that's what we're going to do today. All right. Y'all ready? I hope you're ready. Hope you're excited over this. And I'll give you some of my key insights. So a couple things. So one of the first things that really come to mind after, let's just already assume you know who your ideal client is. Where are you going to find them? So there's a few different things that I like to look at in terms of targeting, right? So remember, we're talking about paid advertising. So if we're targeting paid advertising, right, let's just choose speakers, for example. So if I'm looking for speakers, where could I go to find professional speakers if they're my ideal clientele? And that's really what you want to be thinking about in terms of targeting and why you want to know exactly who you want to help. So if I'm looking at helping paid speakers, then what I'm going to do is this. First, I'm thinking of what other influencers teaches that. So I might start targeting people like, and mind you, this is inside of your ads manager, your Facebook ads campaign, right? So then I might start targeting, I might say, one, who are the speakers? I might say Inky Johnson. I might say E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher. I might target Tony Robbins. I might target Gary Vaynerchuk. I might target Grant Cardone. I might target Damon John. You feel what I'm saying? I'm targeting people who are influencers and they're speakers in our space. I might target Les Brown, right? Stormy Wellington, Lisa Nichols. You feel what I'm saying? So, what is it? Tom Bilyeu. I mean, you name it, right? Brendan Burchard. I mean, the list could go on. I mean, we got literally hundreds of people who are professional speakers in what we do. And if I'm trying to congregate and find out, okay, where is my audience at? These are the people that they're following. These are the people that they're following. So it would be smart that from a targeting perspective inside of your ads manager and your campaign, that you target people who, you target influencers that have that type of following. That would be the smartest thing to do, because if I'm, so what does that really mean? So that means that inside of your Facebook ads campaign, what that means is you're going to target, they give you an option to say, if you want to choose, let's say, specific people, right, and or influencers, then what you'll do is you'll literally type in their name and it'll populate inside of the form, right? What'll happen is when you start running your ads, everybody who follows that person on Instagram, on Facebook, if they have either like third-party blogs and things of that nature. You ever saw somebody, you ever been on a blog and you're reading something and you're like, oh damn, I see Terrell pop up right here. Or you see somebody that you probably just follow online and you just see like a random banner ad pop up of them. Well, that's because Facebook has third-party affiliates. So that's why you're able to go on a World Star Hip Hop, or you're able to go on a Yahoo News, or you're able to go on some of these other websites, and then you'll still see banners from people that you know. So when you're targeting, it's important to list out those influencers and say, who are the top influencers in our space? And whatever space that you're in, you always need to know who the top influencers are. Period. Any space that you're in. I always tell my clients that there's two really types of people that you want to follow and that you really want to learn from. I said one is your coaches, right? You want to learn from, obviously, your coaches. Let's say, because I'm a business coach. So let's say you'll learn from somebody like me that's going to teach you the game, that's been doing this for 10 years. I'm going to be able to teach you the ins and outs. But I always say you always need to always have a foot in your actual industry, because your industry may not, my industry happens to be our industry. So it's kind of different. It's kind of interesting. But let's say if I was helping, nurses, or if I was helping, teachers or principals or something like that, then yes, I need to understand the business side of it, but I also need to understand who's the players in that actual industry. Who are the actual influencers in the nursing industry? Who are the actual influencers in the educational industry? And that's who you need to be targeting, because all of your ideal clientele, that's who they're following. Does that make sense? So one, what influencers? Two, what podcasts are we looking at? What podcasts? This podcast is huge. It's been exploding. More people are listening to podcasts now. People are on the go. People are driving. People are on trains. I'm in New York City, right? I'm seeing people with headphones in their ear all day. People download podcast episodes. So it's very important to see how could you target certain podcasts, right? Is there certain things that you can do from that perspective? Now, some of this, depending on how big the podcast is, etc., like a Joe Rogan, there may or may not be an opportunity for you to target the podcast specifically. This particular strategy might require you to maybe run ads directly on the podcast, but it's something to really think about in terms of getting in front of your ideal audience. What else are we looking at? You could target, I will focus on specific associations, right? So usually every organization or every industry has associations. So let's say if let's go back to the speakers example. If I'm helping speakers, then I'm targeting the National Speakers Association. I'm targeting Toastmasters. Shout out to everybody who's a Toastmaster member. I went to Toastmasters for years and years. And I was, a member of Toastmasters, and, we used to, I was active in it, and it was helping me become a better speaker. It was helping me with my thoughts. It was helping me think on my feet. It was helping me be a better speaker and a better communicator. And I did that for years. And guess what? I was following them online. A lot of times when you join these clubs, you have to follow them online. You have a membership. They might have a Facebook group, or you're following their, you're following their business page, or you're following them on Instagram, right? So you're actively involved in following them online. Well, guess what? As soon as you follow them online, anybody who wants to, target in a good way, right? Anybody who wants to show you any kind of valuable information, insights, products, or services that could potentially be a benefit to you can now find you because you're following them publicly online. So we have that same advantage, is that, okay, let me think about what association. So if you're helping teachers, okay, are there any associations for teachers? If you're helping nurses, are there any association for nurses? So you really want to think about that, because guess what? Now, when you go inside your ads manager, now you can say X association, this association, that association. So that's another thing you can target. Another one you could target is nonprofits, right? Now, association is a nonprofit, but just in terms of the functionality of it, a nonprofit, you could target that. So what nonprofits cater to your audience? What nonprofit organization? So you want to be thinking about that, right? You want to be thinking about who it is. If you're helping the youth, well, you might want to look at working with certain organizations like what am I thinking right now? And I'm sure you know. So if you remember, just go ahead and then comment below and let me know, right? But there's a ton of organizations that work, and it's on the tip of my tongue too. But it's a ton of organizations that work with the youth that you can go in and work with, right? So you want to be looking at, okay, well, what are all the top organizations that help the youth? You might also want to look at, so we have nonprofits. You may also want to look at targeting specific types of software. Most people don't think about that, right? So certain industries, right? Big Brother and Big Sister, right, is one of them. So I mean, there's a bunch of them out there. You can look it up. So software is key. So if I'm working with online, let's say speakers, there's certain software that I know speakers are using, right? So if you're a speaker and you're constantly making conversations and you're looking to get speaking engagement and gigs, there's certain softwares you're probably using. Okay, let's go through some of the softwares. You might be using Stripe because you have to do payment processing. You might be using Kajabi because you need some type of CRM to send out emails. Let's think about other CRMs, right? So then you got Zoho CRM. You got what is it? You have it's so many, but you have there's a ton of them out there that you can use that literally CRM platforms. You can do landing page platforms. You could use like a ClickFunnels. So I would be thinking about what are all the different types of software that people in your industry use, and you can literally target the software, because if they're following the software or they're using the software some type of way, then guess what? They're going to come across you. So those are some examples, and you really want to think about when you're trying to find your best buyers. And again, these are the people that is most likely to buy. You don't have to convince them. They know how important it is. They have the money to pay for it. And this is something that they really want. So by the time they talk to you, it's already a done deal, right? If you're targeting the right people, by the time they go through your ad or go through your funnel and you speak to them, it's going to be a done deal, because you're speaking to the right people. And I would much rather speak to 1,000 of the right people instead of 10,000 of people who are mildly or not interested in what I have. And that's the biggest difference in terms of taking your business to the next level from a targeting perspective. Does that make sense? That makes sense. Go ahead and put "make sense" below. Let me know if you're loving this. Let me know if this is helpful to you. I mean, it took me so long to really figure this out. It took me so long to figure out who I want to help, because I was in a place where I just wanted to help everybody. And that was one of the biggest mistakes that I made. I wanted to help everybody. I'm like, yo, I don't want to, and by the way, I still can help. If another business comes to me and, my schedule is right, they're the right client, the price is right, I might still do a one-off consultation with them. But who I market to and what I say and who I'm looking to help, that's a different situation. That's a different deal, right? And the examples that I give is a different deal, right? You don't hear me giving restaurant examples, right? So there's certain things that I know who I'm talking to, and as long as I know who I'm talking to, I'm gonna attract more of those people. And as long as I'm in the right place, talking to the right people with the right messaging, which is what we're gonna talk about in the upcoming trainings, then what is there to lose, right? You don't have anything to lose. All right, let me know. Give this some like, give this some love. Let me know that this was fire. Drop some fire emojis below. Go ahead and put OMG if this is something that was super, super helpful to you. And I'm just giving you game. I'm giving you tips that I've learned just over the years and years and years of really me doing this, and especially when it comes to paying money. And that's why I'm going so hard over this, because it's different than if I'm just helping you do things that's organic, right? And it's like, okay, because you can make some mistakes organically and it's much more forgiving. But if you make mistakes while you running ads, you losing money, right? And there's a certain amount that, you got to be comfortable with testing, and you have to be willing to lose some in order to really get the information. Let the algorithm do its thing. Let the algorithm optimize who your best buyers are. And there's a certain amount that you gotta rely on Facebook to find the best people. But if your targeting is all off, or if you don't really know what you're doing, or if you just out here and just say, yo, I'm just gonna throw spaghetti against the wall and see what stick, then your money's not gonna stick, right? You're gonna be wasting hundreds of thousands of dollars that you really didn't have to waste if you just was a little bit more strategic, and you use best practices in a way that's going to allow you to get ahead forward faster. Does that make sense? So this is really key. And I mean, there's tools out there that you can use, like AI tools that can really help you with that. Chat GPT can help you with it, and some others. But really, at the end of the day, whether you're Googling it or whether you're using some type of AI, it's really, really, really important to figure out who your ideal client is and where they're at. Period. If you do that, and let's just assume that you're dope. We're going to get in the next training, we're going to be talking about, messaging. We're going to be talking about copy. We're going to be talking about all of the stuff that now that you're in front of the right person, what do you actually need to say in order to attract them? What do you need to provide in order to attract them? So we're going to talk about that, but you got to be in the right place at the right time. You got to be, that's key. And if you're dope enough, even if you're not the greatest at what we're going to be talking about upcoming, which is super, super important, even if you're not the greatest, but you have you know what you're talking about, and what you have is really dope, that might be enough just to spark the interest of somebody to want to move forward with you, or at least to want to have a conversation with you. But if you don't get this part right, even if you got the best language in the world, it's not gonna matter, right? Even if you're the best copywriter in the world, it's not gonna matter. I can have the best blueberries in the world. It's succulent. It smells so good. The blueberries is juicy. The blueberries is the muffin is just like so plump and delicious. Oh my God, it's amazing to me. But if you are trying to sell your muffin to somebody who's allergic to blueberries, it does not matter how good it is, how succulent it is. They're not going to eat it because they don't like it. They don't want it. They're allergic to it. That's what I'm saying, is that even if your messaging is great and what you have is amazing, if it's not in front of the right person, come on. If listen, I put it to you this way. Try to sell somebody your blueberry that's not the right person, and you try to stuff it down their throat, you might get yourself into a street brawl. Have a succulent, delicious blueberry to somebody who wants it. They might pay you, I don't know, $100 for it, right? They'll overcharge you. I mean, they'll overpay you if it's really what they want and really what they need. You feel what I'm saying? So what's the difference between you getting in the street brawl, getting smacked or punched in your face, or having a fight, right? Versus the person who loves you so much, they're gonna tell so many people about you, and they'll overpay you for it. What's the difference? Who you're targeting. The only difference. All right, that's why this is so important. All right, y'all loving this? Let's go. I'm seeing Daryl saying the game. This is real talk. This is on point. I'm loving it. And I see y'all on all the platforms too. I see y'all out here. You see me looking on the laptop. I'm looking at y'all. I'm looking at everywhere we at. All right. So wherever you at, go ahead and comment. I'm gonna be able to see you because I got the laptop right here. All right. With that being said, let me kind of give you a couple resources. So, number one, first things first. If If you're in a place right now and you're like, I want to run my own ads, you have a couple options. One, I'm going to give you, we do have a cheat sheet that we just released. This cheat sheet is what I'm working with. It's the same exact formula that I work with my own clients on. And it's actually going to break down specifically like how we think about running ads, and it's a proven strategy. All right. So if you want that and you're like, okay, just give me the blueprint, I'm gonna try to run this play myself, you're more than welcome to, and I'll give it to you. If you want it, just go ahead and put cheat sheet below or shoot me a DM that says cheat sheet and we'll get that over to you. Number two, if you say, I don't have the time, the energy, the know-how, I'm not a techie person, you know what? I just want to hire an expert, which is smart because the world's most successful businesses, they hire the experts, right? If you notice any company, I don't care if it's a Microsoft, Amazon, I don't care. You name the company. I guarantee in that company, you're not going to see the CEO doing all of the roles in that company. Period. Think about Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 50 companies. Don't matter. You will not see the CEO doing every single role. Now, when the CEO is bringing on VPs or they're bringing on in the organization, or HR is bringing on people, do you think they want to bring on the worst people to do the job that they got to pay? Or do you think they want to bring on the best people that they have to pay? Are they going to bring on somebody who can't get the results and don't know what they're doing or don't know what they're talking about? Or they're going to bring on the best who they know as soon as you bring them on, they're going to get results immediately? Obviously, they're going to hire the best. So if you want to move just like a Fortune 500 company moves, you want to hire the best talent. That's your job. Hire the best talent. So if you want to hire the best talent, AKA you want to rock with us and you want to hire us, right? Ours is Mass Attention Marketing and Advertising. That's our agency. So if you want to hire us to bring you leads, and we'll just feed it to you. We'll just feed you the leads. Obviously, we got to set it up and all of that, which we can have a conversation about. But if you just want us to feed you leads, then I want you to go ahead and put Facebook ads below or shoot us a DM that says Facebook ads, and then we'll have a conversation. There is no 100% guarantee that we'll take you on as a client because there's a certain set of criteria that you need. So that's why we have an application process to be able to work together, right? There's a certain budget you need to spend. There's certain type of clientele we like to work with. There's certain type of businesses we like to work with, right? We know what we specialize in. We don't specialize in doing lead generation for all businesses, right? So there's a certain set of criteria that you gotta have for us to work with you. But if you want to have that conversation just to see what it's like, then go ahead and put Facebook ads below or shoot me a DM that says Facebook ads. If you want to meet me in person, we have a live event coming up. It's called the PCS Boot Camp. I'm excited about that because we're bringing out the world's best experts in networking. We're bringing out the world's best expert in YouTube and growing your YouTube channel and your subscribers and your views and all of that. So shout out to Emma Carmichael. Shout out to June Archer. I'm going to be teaching you advanced advertising strategies, and I'm going to be teaching you specifically how to do it using AI. So I'm really, really excited about that. So if you want to learn from us in person to be able to scale your business this year, or if this first quarter hasn't really went the way that you wanted it to go, this is the perfect time to really level up your advertising and your marketing. So if you want that, somebody put in the chat for me, pcsbootcamp.com, pcsbootcamp.com. All right. And you can go and get your ticket. All right. So yeah, with that being said, let's continue to work. Let's work. So any questions? What questions do we have? What questions do we have specifically on what we just talked about? Let's keep it to advertising and marketing. And if you have anything, go ahead and put it below. Go ahead and drop any questions that you have below advertising and marketing. Gift Onemia is in the building. Oh, is it Anima? Anima? All right. Well, shout out to Gift Anemia in the building. I feel like hopefully I'm saying it right. If I'm not, feel free to correct me. You can put that in the chat. All right, but if you have any questions, go ahead and put it below. We've been talking about finding your best buyers, who they are, how to find them, where to go. What are some examples of where you can find them and how you can really target them? That's what this whole conversation has been about today. All right, if you have any questions, put it below. But this is what I'm gonna leave you with. Take the time to figure this out. A lot of times, and I'll be the first person to come to the front of the congregation and say, look, I was the guy that was just so excited to get in the business and so excited to get my hands dirty that I wasted a lot of time, energy, effort trying to figure this thing out. If somebody asked me the other day if I had to start this all over, how would I do it differently? I would immediately from day one, because it took me a long time to get help. I would immediately from day one consult, I would definitely get a coach and be part of some type of coaching program. If I couldn't afford it, I'm like, yo, consult me for an hour. Like, can I pay you for 30 minutes? Like, let me, come on. I just need the right play. I just need the right formula. I need the right blueprint, right? And so I would not learn from trial and error. And I think that was one of the things that I've heard that from a few billionaires, Charlie Munger, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. I mean, some of these billionaires, one of their key philosophies is don't learn from trial and error. Learn from other people's trial and error, not your own. Too many people are learning from their own trial and error. There's too much information out here. There's too many experts out here, and you're not the first to blaze a path on this journey. So if you're not the first to do it, and there's other people that has done it over and over and over again, and you can get a blueprint on how to do it so you can save time, energy, effort, and money, why not just go straight to the source and get it? And too many people are out here just spinning their wheels when you don't have to do that. You just talk to a real person, get real advice, get real help, and get real feedback. And that's going to help you take it to the next level. And that's what I did. And that's what allowed me to really understand how important the targeting was and take a little bit of extra time figuring this out and doing the exercises. And this is all stuff that I'll give you if you was working with me. Even if we're doing it for you, I still teach you, which is really what makes us different too, is that I teach you this stuff. I'm not just one of that we're not just one of the agencies that just like, yo, I'm going to do it for you, but I'm going to hold all of the secrets. I'm going to hold all of the secrets. I ain't going to give you the secrets, right? We're one of the agencies that, and any of my clients will tell you, I teach them. I walk them through it. I walk them through why we do certain things we do. I walk them through the thinking. I walk them through everything. Because for me, it's really about building a goodwill. And even if they learn how to do it themselves and they eventually learn how to do it and go off on themselves and do it, hey, that's their prerogative. But a lot of times, they'll become more successful. And the more successful you become, you don't want to take your eye off the ball and start doing things that's not in your wheelhouse. Right? Even if you do understand it, right? Usually people become more successful. They don't give themselves more jobs to do, right? People who are more successful as they make more money, they usually start hiring experts and say, okay, don't got to do that no more. All right. Don't got to do that no more. Okay. Don't have to do that no more. And they start getting time back. And that's one of the things that you do as you generate more money, generate more revenue, is that you start buying your time back. And that's the difference. That's the difference, right? You got, when the money is low, you got a lot of time. And when you start to make more money or you have more money, then guess what? You start paying for time. You start buying your time back. And that's what you want to do. As you get more successful, start buying your time back. Right? And so as you become more successful, usually that's what folks do. All right. But with that being said, those are the resources for you. I hope this is helpful. If you're loving this, go ahead and put love in this below. Let me know that you took away a lot from this. And I'm glad this is super, super helpful. Right? So Facebook ads below if you want us to run it. Cheat sheet below if you want the cheat sheet. And then also if you want to attend the event, is pcsbootcamp.com. That's the 25th. So if you want to join us, you better hurry up because we got like 9 days left. All right, and we almost sold out. We only got a few seats left. So if you want to attend that event, it's definitely want to do that now. All right. With that being said, I appreciate you all. I love you all. Continue to be great. We out here, we offering great services to the world, but we got to know how to get the word out. We got to know how to get exposure to it. We got to know how to get people excited over it. And that's what this whole thing is about. So this week, that's what we've really been focused on. So tomorrow, we're going to focus on the messaging, and we're going to focus on what does that really look like in terms of getting people. Now you're in front of the right people, but what do you say? How do you get people excited over? How do you get them to take action? So that's really what we're going to be focused on moving forward. All right. So with that being said, continue to be great and let's work.